Feeling disconnected from your teenager? Let's talk about that. Hi, I'm Kat, that parenting coach, and welcome, my friends. I just wanted to have a chat about something that hits us all as parents because I have a feeling some of you really need to hear this today. Have you ever just looked at your teenager and thought, "Ugh, what happened?" Right? Not in a bad way, but in a bittersweet kind of way. You know, because it feels like just yesterday they wanted to tell you absolutely everything and they were so excited to see you. You knew every single friend, yep, and their parents. You knew every teacher and their favorites and the ones they didn't like. You knew every crush that they had or who liked who. Remember? Yeah. What about every stuffed animal's name? Little characters. Just every little worry that they may have had. You knew it all because you were their person. I remember that. And now, yep, now, let's take a deep breath for that one, okay? Because now you ask your teenager how their day was and you get a fine. Yep, you know that one? So then, what did you do today? Nothing. Oh, well, who did you hang out with at lunch? Oh, wait, did you hear that eye roll hit the floor? Yeah, friends. And then the conversation is over because they're already gone to their room and the door is closed. And I think that sounded really relatable to a lot of people, right? And that really hurts. Like, let's be real. Not because you want to control your teenager, because believe me, you don't want that headache. But because you miss them, right? The little them. You miss being invited into their world. And I think something a lot of parents and caregivers just kind of carry guilt, right? About that. Because you may think, maybe I've done something wrong. Like, why don't they like me anymore? Am I that bad of a person? Right? But if I can just maybe offer something a little bit different, just that maybe your teenager is doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. One of the biggest jobs of adolescence is learning who you are separate from your parents. We really want that. And their little brain, wow, their brain is literally wired to begin stepping out into the world. They're trying new friendships and new interests, got new ideas, experiences you don't even know about. And they're asking questions to themselves, like, who am I? Right? Do you remember that one? Where do I fit? Where do I belong? What do I believe? How do I feel? And my friends, developmentally, well, teenagers, oh yeah, right? That's exactly what we want. We want them to kind of go through all that questioning and doing that independence. And, it's that secure attachment or that attachment that we have with them that allows them to go out into the world with confidence. So we do want this. But I think their tricky part is their attachment system hasn't disappeared. It just hasn't magically switched off because they turned 14. So I think they're caught between two really important needs. One part of them really wants that independence. I can do it myself. I don't need you. I've got this. You don't know anything, right? And then there's another part of them who still wants to know that if everything or anything falls apart, will you still be there? Yeah. And that, my friends, is attachment. And that's where we want them to be. Let's take a deep breath in and out, because every breath counts. I think that may be why parenting teenagers can feel so, at best, confusing. One minute they're asking you to leave them alone, you're lame. And then the next minute they're asking if you'll drive them somewhere. One minute you are so embarrassing, and the next minute they want you to stay up until they get home. One minute they don't need you, they don't want you, they don't like you, until they do. Right? One of my favorite parenting programs that I'm trained in to facilitate talks about looking beneath the behavior. And that idea has stayed with me throughout my career working with children who've experienced trauma and families navigating really difficult situations. Because behavior doesn't happen in a vacuum. There's usually something brewing underneath. And sometimes that could be really big disappointment. And other times it could be fear, scary of the unknown. Sometimes it's stress. I think a lot of the time. And sometimes it's just like a basic attachment need that they just can't express, identify, or even name. And sometimes it's simply, I don't know how to tell you what I'm feeling. And because they're teenagers, perhaps instead of asking what's wrong with my teenager, where did I go wrong? Maybe we can just begin by asking, what might be happening underneath this behavior? The attitude, the door slam, the eye rolls, the ignoring. And when we ask that question, that can change everything, my friend. Because when we become curious, we stop taking everything so personally. We begin seeing behavior as communication instead of defiance. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Shake it out. Every little breath counts, my friends. Seriously. Okay, I think we do need to talk about boundaries right here because there really should be boundaries. Absolutely. Boundaries. Teenagers need that and limits. They need guidance. Their brain is still developing. They still need us to be the parent, the external brain. But they also need us to remember that underneath all that independence, the eye rolls, the tude, they're still your little child. And they're still growing. Yeah. They're still trying to figure out life with what was thrown at them, too. Maybe we should add that, right? Hang on 1 second. So maybe, I think more than anything, I think teenagers just need to know there is one person who believes in them, even on the days they don't seem to believe in themselves. So, if you're missing your little person lately, I just want you to know you are not alone, my friend. You are not alone. Let's take a deep breath in and out. And just remember, your relationship with your kiddo is not ending. No, it's just changing. It's going to look different, right? If you think about it, it looks different from when they were babies to toddlers to like little kids to preteens, and now you got the teenager. And I get it, because sometimes change feels a little like grief, right? Let's name that for sure. But it can also become something really beautiful, because one day that teenager who rolls their eyes and will barely answer your questions just might become the young adult who calls you just to tell you about their day. And as a mom, as adult boys, that happens. So keep showing up. Stay curious. Keep taking those deep breaths. Protect your relationship. And remember, behavior is communication. And children borrow our calm before they can borrow our wisdom. So we'll need to be able to regulate first, which means regulate yourself, and then you regulate them, and then you connect, and then you can teach. You can put in that limit. That's it, my friends. So let's take a deep breath in and out, because every breath counts. And if you made it this far in the video, please hit subscribe, like, share this video. I'm Kat from That Parenting Coach. We've got exciting things coming our ways, friend. And one key here, remember, parenting was never, ever meant to be done alone. So be sure to join our growing community. You got this.